start out with a prayer. We're going to ask Pastor Anthony King from Faith International, will you come forward and give us our prayer? Remain standing for Miss Patricia Lane, and she will give us our Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Mayor. Let's all pray. Dear Heavenly Father, in Jesus' name, we thank you for this day as we are coming together as a representative of our community for the purpose of making decisions to impact the lives of our fellow citizens. We come before you, ask for your grace, your mercy in this place today, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Will you proceed? Thank Ms. Lane. Stop there.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
I'm going to call this meeting to order. I'm going to ask the clerk, would she please call the roll?
Mayor McClendon,
Present.
City Attorney Stevenson,
Here.
City Treasurer Suter Jr., Councilor Bruce,
Here.
Councilor Katz,
Here.
Councilor Kroom,
Here.
Councilor Harris, Councilor Holt,
Here.
Councilor Hutchinson, Councilor Muhammad, Councilor Monday, Councilor Murray,
Here.
Councilor Wheelers.
We have 7 out of 10 present, so we have a quorum to start this meeting out. We had no bid openings. And you know, we are making up from our last meeting we just had last Thursday. We didn't have a quorum, so we were scheduled for our second meeting of the month. Was there any corrections to the minutes?
Motion to approve this minute.
Like a second? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. We're going to go to old business, City Attorney.
This is a third reading of an ordinance to establish fees for permits and inspections at residential rates and commercial and industrial rates within the city limits of West Memphis, Arkansas.
Hearing that read for its third and final time, can I get a motion and a second to approve?
So moved. Second.
In discussion.
Now, this ordinance, when would this go into effect?
If you all approve it 30 days from
Is there a reading of an ordinance to establish fees for permits and inspections of residential rates and commercial and industrial rates within the city limits of West Memphis? Is this talking about all businesses or just?
well, no, this is, I'm going to ask Mr. Bowman to come up and kind of give you a brief detail on it.
Good afternoon, members of the council. Actually, this is an increase on a few of the permit fees. It's not by a large amount. It wasn't many of them that we decided to increase. Some of them were being increased by like increments of 5 cents. A lot of times, I also looked at increasing them when there wasn't a differentiation between either residential and commercial. A lot of times in cities, there should not be the same price. So if you have a residential rate, the commercial rate should be much higher. Otherwise, we're kicking ourselves in the butt for not getting the amount of money it will require for us to have people go out and inspect the projects and so forth. So with that being said, you know, I wanted to make sure that there was a difference between commercial projects and residential projects. The other thing I would ask is that we may hold off on making the final vote just yet, but I think we have one more reading, am I correct? Or this would be the last reading? With that being said, we want to hold a public meeting. We were unable to because of the inclement weather last week, so we pushed it back to next week. So on the next council meeting, I'll ask that you vote and make a decision then. So we follow the proper protocol to make a decision when it comes to increasing permit fees.
So, City Attorney, how do we handle that? This is the third and final.
Well,
reading.
you can do a motion to table at any point in time, and it takes precedence over the motion, any other motion.
I'll make a motion that we table.
Second.
Until the next council meeting, is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
That's next week, isn't it?
Yes.
We published a public notice to host the meeting, to have a public meeting to see if anyone has any comment on permit fees next week on the 31st.
Before,
Yes.
And I want to add this too. They can, if the council do vote to table it, but one thing I didn't see was a big change in nothing with the fees. So I mean, we waiting a week. We could have passed it and still you done your
Yeah, we're basically just following protocol to have a public hearing, but it wasn't anything substantial. Now, I will tell you, we've been having a lot of conversations and benchmarking other cities, and honestly, we have a lot of opportunity to increase revenue for the city in the terms of like commercial projects. A lot of the fees that we charge for commercial projects are really, really low. And really, West Memphis is on the verge of really growing. And so we're leaving a lot of money on the table for redevelopment from the commercial standpoint. So after we pass it this time, we're gonna probably wait another 6 months and then do some more research and come back to you with something more valuable that'll benefit us as a city, yet at the same time not, overcharge developers as they come. I think a lot of times when they come to redevelop in West Memphis, or when they come to develop in West Memphis, we give them a really good deal, and they're probably expecting to spend more. But, we got good prices in terms of our permit fees, and they may be actually a little low. Thank you.
We got-
Motion to
Table it. Yeah, I heard a second. Mr. Croom, second. We got a motion and second to table. Everybody aye? Opposed? Table goes through. So it'll be back on the agenda next week at our next council meeting.
Second reading of an ordinance granting a special use permit for property located at Kuhn Road/Service Road, permitting a 125-foot monopole telecommunications tower in an I-1 light industrial district.
This is the second reading on that. I see the attorney here. I know last week he was here as well, and we kind of asked about any information that need to have been gotten to the council. I don't know how the council received that information, or you want to come and speak?
Yes, sir, thank you. It's my understanding they did forward a packet for all the council members, but has anyone received it? Okay, because, to be honest, I didn't receive it either, but they indicated that he's gonna track it. And then he asked, my employer asked that we table this from not to have the third reading on the first, but have it on February the 15th.
We can on the first, just table it until the 15th?
We have to do it, you have to do that. Be here on the first to do it.
I guess you could table it to a date certain if you wanted to.
If not,
We've already read it for the second time,
Okay,
so it's going to have to be, the action will be taken probably at the next meeting unless,
okay.
usually. That's
If
what I
I'm-
would think.
May then, Mayor, make a motion, we table this until February the 15th for the third and final reading.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? It's tabled for the third reading to February the 15th.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, February 15th is the second meeting.
I think so. I think the
February
first
the
is,
first, yeah.
I think the first is the first meeting. 15th, I believe, is second.
Yeah, that's right, it's the 15th. All right. Ms. Muhammad, will you give me the pleasure, R1 and R2?
Yes, sir, I would like to make a motion that R1 and R2 be read by title only.
Get a second? Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Did we vote on the table motion, Patricia?
I knew there was a motion and a second, but I didn't think there was a vote. Okay.
All right, let's bear back a little bit. I had a motion to say Ms. Muhammad and Councilman Croon did the motion the second. All in favor, aye to vote the table this to the 15th. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that passes. Yes, the 15th of February will be the third reading of this ordinance. Now, R1.
I think we got to still do a vote on that. Have we voted on that
Well,
already?
Ms. Muhammad voted to read by title only.
Did we vote on it?
And then Mr. Croom
No,
seconded.
She talking about going back to the tabling, I think.
No, we already been back to the table
All right,
now.
I'll go
I
Oh,
can,
that
I
particular
get a
table.
motion
Since
second
we got
to read by the title only.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
All right, this is a resolution certifying the amounts of liens imposed on certain properties for grass cutting, cleaning, litter/debris, and tree limbs, et cetera, contracted by the City of West Memphis pursuant to ordinance number 1385.
Can I get a motion and second to approve?
So moved.
In discussion?
Mayor, if I may, at the last council meeting, I handed out a spreadsheet on this list of properties. 19 of those properties have already sold So I'd make a motion that we remove those 19 from the filing.
Second.
Get a motion and second to remove those 19s from
Which
this
ones
list.
are they? I'm a little behind.
It's right.
These are the 19 right here that we removed? All of these are to be removed
No,
from?
no, all.
The 19 that are indicated by sold.
Oh, I got it, I got
Yeah,
it.
they got an indication.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
My mind is still snowed in.
But Counselor Cat, didn't we also discuss to change the policy so that we could collect the liens that are on this property before it sells?
We talked about a procedural issue at the last meeting when we did not have a quorum. It's something we'll take up in committee the next time they meet and see if there's a way that we can work with staff to get them filed sooner. There's a cost that'll come into play on that also.
Well, we got a motion and second to amend it by taking those 19 properties out. Is there any further discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, can I get a motion and second to approve the resolution?
So moved.
We'll approve the amendment, yes, sir.
No, we approved the amendment.
Okay, I'm sorry, I just knew we had a motion in a second. I apologize, I didn't
Okay,
hear the
well-
vote.
Did we approve the amendment to take those 19?
Okay, well, let's do this. We got a motion and second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Now, this to approve the amendment. Now, the motion and second to approve the resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Second by Dr. Bruce. Any further discussion? Anything else on that? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes. Will you give that resolution a number, please?
Resolution number 2295, 2295.
That number is 2295. R2.
R2 is a resolution to approve the purchase agreements between the City of West Memphis, Arkansas and James Harris, and authorizing the mayor and the city clerk to execute the agreements on behalf of the City of West Memphis.
I get a motion and second to approve.
So moved.
Any discussion?
Yes, Mayor, if I may. There is already some wording in the sales contracts that are already past their date. So I think we need to move it into a work session where all those can be updated and corrected. And then you can inform the council on, once all these lots are acquired, what are your plans as to either developing into rental, develop into single-family, multifamily. We're looking at roughly, ballpark, $350,000. I was wondering if maybe we can somehow get a grant from HUD to go ahead and do the purchase and the grading work that will all need to be done to get the elevations up above the floodplain levels, if any of them are under. And then, like I say, do we work with a private developer and come in and build? I just hadn't had a chance to find out what your.
And currently, that's what we have been working with private director, but the first part. Chad, can you come to the mic? There's some dates in the contract with Mr. Harrison. There's Mr. Harris out there as well. And on the contract, there's some dates that I think has passed through that we probably need to change.
Yes.
And
I could look at the contracts and we can make amendments to those dates. I think the initial date was for us to sign an agreement, and to actually close before January 31st was the second date. And if it's going to exceed that date, we will need to change those. And if Mr. Harris doesn't have a problem, we'll probably re-sign them and extend the date.
Well, let me pull out the one I highlighted all the way through. Let me find it, pardon. That's not the one.
I think there was one date that was like December the 18th in there that I saw.
Okay.
I think, and I don't know if that was seemed like that was an inspection type thing.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but there were a few others, or a couple
Yeah.
maybe in December.
In terms of the inspection, we're not taking over any physical structures. We're going to probably possess the property once we acquire it and demo any structure that's on there. So a lot of the structures are uninhabitable and nuisance properties anyway. So anything related to the structure and inspection, really, but I could definitely change the dates and amend those.
I was just killing time till he found all his markings here, so.
Oh, okay.
Question.
Yeah, under the, if I may,
Go ahead.
on the second page, all cash offer, the December 31st, 23rd date, I'm assuming has been missed. Did someone, some unrelated third party write a letter guaranteeing payment of funds?
No, we didn't. That was just saying that.
So that'll be one thing that needs to be changed.
Right.
Closing costs, says attributed to the closing of the property shall be the sole responsibility of the buyer. Just make sure the council, that's not traditionally a way things are handled. Also on that same, it says funds at closing shall only be cash, either make electronic transfers, money order, certified check, or cashier's check drawn on the institution. Most closings are done with the trust check of
Right.
whichever title company, and of course, that's not allowed here.
Right.
So it just seemed kind of odd that to be happening. Also on the closing date, of course, it says January 31st, but it also specifies all rents. There are some tenants still living there.
Correct.
They'll have to go through an eviction process, which could take 30 days, it could take 6 months.
Correct.
So again, acquiring property, who's going to assume the responsibility of all the legal fees for the tenants to be moved from the property? Second page, you have the survey, which is supposed to be in by December the 18th. I didn't know if we'd gotten a copy of it. Also, it says on the title, says seller will order a title search report and have delivered to the buyer. Didn't know if that had been done. Of course, it talks about inspections. Our city inspector can do those. Again, eventually, you're going to tear the properties down anyhow and remove them. Again, that's where the January 27th date comes into play. Has a deal in here that says buyer shall have until January the 2nd. I didn't know if we presented a report to the seller on that particular clause.
Let me interject there.
Yes, sir.
The way we did the documents was really only to make the agreement. We knew that we had to go through the rest of the process before we can actually close and commence with the deal, because we got to have attorneys involved, title search and so forth. So
Correct.
really, this is just an agreement. It's not, not the final sales document, just something to get into play so we can bring it to council. Because
It's
we're
a-
not ready to finalize it until we get your all approval before we started to continue the rest of the process. Because of course, that would mean we would incur costs.
Again, but it's a residential purchase agreement. It's not a tentative agreement to exercise options at certain times. It's a contract to purchase. Now,
Now, we can adjust the dates for a later date until we get all of the information in there, or with the help of Mr. Stevenson, we can make those proper amendments or retitle it a different way so it's not as fixated or permanent, shall I say.
for me personally, you're better off tabling, rewriting, giving us until, say, March 1st, get all these other dates and things done, and then actually approve the contract.
Okay.
Let me ask this question. If the council do decide to go to March 1st, right?
Yes.
That's 90 days. Can we go here with the process of asking the people who live in there, that they got, letting them know now that it's time for them to find some other location? Or, I know we've been doing some other things, trying to work with the housing authority to get certificates for them individuals to move to other places or into a shelter that they have. So can we go ahead and start moving that process forward?
Yes.
Compared to waiting to the 31st day and saying, okay, you got another 90 days to move out.
Correct. I've already spoken with Ms. Sheila at the Housing Authority, Ms. Handy, about relocating some of the tenants that are living in the properties. And so I'm going to work with Mr. Harris to get him the information so they can make application to ensure that they qualify to get proper housing by the time the process is over. We knew that I figured that this wouldn't be finalized at this moment. So again, I was just basically preparing agreements to kind of put it on your all minds to know that we're moving forward with this.
I don't think there's any ifs, ands that the council, has been looking at these properties for quite some time over the years and would love to see something move forward so it can be developed. The only thing that concerns me is it is a residential purchase agreement.
Yeah.
It's not a gentleman's
Or
handshake
option.
showing we're going to get some things done and then we'll work it out.
Correct.
Okay, I guess,
Can I ask one question? About how many tenants that are in question? How many tenants?
Mr. Harris. Her question was, how many tenants
About
are in those
an
properties?
estimate, how many?
That's what we were just talking about, Ms. Felix. There's 7
7.
total, 7 people total.
So my question is, okay, so the people that are in those, homes, do they already have connections with the housing authority, or they're gonna have to do applications? Do they
They're-
already,
When I spoke to the lady at the housing authority, the director, she told me that 2 of the individuals are already on the list.
Okay.
And we're in the process of being
Yes.
placed in, housing or to get a voucher.
okay,
So it's the other families, once we get a census of the people that require housing, we can go from that point. And then it's all contingent on availability, but with a later date to complete this process, we're sure we'll try to find them housing.
okay, so these are the trailers that are over in that area?
Yes, sir.
So, I guess my other question is, okay, so the city is gonna purchase this property, and then what will we do with it?
What we're gonna do, we're gonna purchase the property, demo the trailer area. We're trying to clear that whole area out. And then, like I said, we've been working with some private contractors, talked to some single contractors that want to build homes, but the goal is to get housing over in the area.
Okay, so basically, once we purchase the property, we'll own the property, we'll own the land. So if there are builders, then the builders will purchase the property from the city.
Sure.
Okay.
Now, we won't be, if it's you all wish, because we have to come down to the board of council, I'm not planning on giving nothing away. I'm not trying to sell, just say a $5,000 lot for $20 neither. If they want to buy it for what we sold it for, if you all agree with the vote, then they'll get it for that price. But we got to get someone that want it first.
My only concern is making sure that the people living there will have some place to go,
Right.
that they will have a secured
Right.
place to live. We don't want to just vote on this agreement
Right.
and the people who are there are out in the cold. This will certainly,
Well,
now what was your recommendation, Councilor Cat?
Well, my concern is there are 76 parcels within this, and I've given everybody a list of that. I think the city currently owns 7. So there's still 69 parcels that, in order to develop, you'd want to own all 76. I mean, that's your ultimate goal. So I'm curious, how long is it going to take us to get to that point? The lots may not be, you may have to put 2 lots together in order to build a true single-family home. With only owning 6 or 9 lots, how much development can you do? So you're looking at roughly, if you were to buy everything at assessed value, and then depending on legal fees and everything else, maybe $350,000. Then how do we develop a public-private relationship with a developer to come in and build either single-family duplexes, fourplexes, whatever, that are home ownership, not rentals? I just would like to have a work session to go ahead and say, okay, this is where we're at right now, this is where we want to be in 2 years, and some of these we can go ahead and start developing, but we're going to need to hold off to get all of them in order to make this dream become a reality.
And I do want
If I may interject.
let me, go ahead. I just wanted to add that all on properties, we do have, our public facility board owns some of the property, as well as the Durbin family, who has been developing already over in the area. So it won't be where we would take it all over and try to get someone to do it. We are already working with one developer right now. They have built one street already. You want to build as soon as possible, but, they still waiting on some things, the interest rate to go down and different things like that. So there's a few things that's into that, but our public facility board own more than 7 properties. They bought it due to the fact that the city would have to necessarily get involved with it.
Again, I pulled everything from the assessor's office. If you do go, I think it's 1 block over. There are other properties owned by the city of West Memphis, but they're not in what I'd call this particular subdivision, or this residential area that you're truly trying to develop and bring a whole new life to. So I just, like I said, would love to have the work session. I'd love to get these worked out, go ahead and get the title work updates, searches. And again, from a legal standpoint, if someone that's living there says, I don't want to go to West Memphis Housing Authority, well, now you got to go through an eviction process. And that can take 30 days, that could take 6 months, depending on when you get court dates and everything else. And I'm very much like you. I don't want to throw anybody out, but if you're going to develop the property to make it better, you'll have to cross that path, yes.
So are we talking about tabling this until the work session, because it says that, a resolution to approve the purchase agreement between the city of West Memphis, and I'm taking it that you and Mr. James Harris?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. James Harris, authorizing the mayor and the city clerk to execute agreements on behalf of the city of West Memphis. Are we asking
What,
that this be tabled?
what I'm gonna ask is, I think an idea just came that for they approve this, we said March the 1st, correct? And during, in between now and March the 1st, we having work sessions on how we want to go by moving and proceeding and getting contracts right and different things like that. But also I'm asking my planning department to already start to reach out to assist those individuals that are living in the properties right now so they can start that process of knowing that eventually they will have to move, but the ones that's already on the list, hopefully they get moved forward. Or in the other file, hopefully we can get with Ms. Handy to get a voucher so they can look for other source of housing instead of waiting on the 31st, you all approve it, and then just say after that 30 days later, we just trying to put somebody out. So we want to at least give them 3, 4, 5 months, however possible, to start to look for some shelter.
Okay, now we're talking about human lives. We're talking about giving them a voucher. For how long will that voucher be for?
Well,
Or is it a voucher for?
well, it's
These are things that
the
we-
Section
We're
8.
talking about human nature, human
I
lives here.
I understand that, but Section 8, I don't know how long those vouchers is, but I think they for,
3 months?
well, no, I think the voucher, depending on, just say if they found a house, the voucher goes for a length of time. So I don't want to right now say it's for a certain amount of time, but trying to clean and develop that project,
No, I do
we
understand.
definitely have to make sure they have someone to stay. But I mean, I can't say that we gonna get them 2 years because of that. We can't. I don't think we can wait for that long.
Now, are these elderly people or just people who are able to work, or?
Some are elderly, ma'am, yes. Some are not, some are working. But, I mean, that is one of my main concerns when we started this is, ample time and help to find these people places to live. Because I'm not one to throw them out in the street either. I mean,
And these are all your properties?
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Harris?
I would like to add too, our goal is not to create another problem. We're trying to create affordable housing and not homelessness.
Correct.
So a lot of times in some of these situations with these structures, they're really leading towards the point where they're not inhabitable at all. So whether we were purchasing the properties or not, we should be trying and attempting to find new, safe and decent housing for these individuals anyway. In terms of the length of time that they can stay on the subsidy, it depends on their economic condition. If a lot of them are seniors, it won't change. It'll be perpetual because their situation won't really change, so they'll be able to have
Right.
access to use the vouchers, perpetually for however long, until their situation changes. So if it's a senior, it probably won't change much, but they'll get better, higher quality housing by getting in the program with the housing authority, and they'll be making good use of it. In some cases, there might be families who can change their economic situation, and they may have an opportunity to return back to the community and purchase one of the affordable houses. And that's what the goal of the program is. In terms of purchasing all the lots at one time, Councilman Catt, I kind of disagree with you on that. I believe that we should do a phased approach. If we can get a area of consolidated lots, whether it's 10 or 20, and start moving in that area, we can stimulate development in the area from the private sector. We might get private developers who want to take part in affordable housing, and then they see what we're doing. And when somebody catches on fire and someone comes to see who's on fire, they catch on fire too. And so that's the approach we want to take. If we could get a small consolidated area, like right now, we're really looking at the block behind West Junior High. And like,
Wonder Junior High.
Wonder Junior High, where we have almost possession of that whole block. And that'll be a good starting point. And I also think it'll be a good opportunity to show the federal government how we have a vested interest in doing that, and then we could get more assistance and purchase more lots and really, really make a difference. So it's important to get started with at least acquiring a lot, showing we have possession. We believe it'll start and ignite interest from the private sector, so we kind of got to get it rolling. But I understand what you're saying about the legality, and my intent was not to make it final, but just to be able to bring it to council to generate the conversation.
And also, Chad, can you just remind the council of what we are already doing, like the seminars we having to try to get people to get
Yes.
approved?
Yes. We've already started what's called the West Memphis Housing Coalition. We had one meeting, I think it was in September or October. It was our first meeting, and we had it here in the council chambers, and actually most of the room was packed. The lady who came from Jonesboro that hosted the conference, the session and the work group, she was saying that was the largest group she had ever had for a housing counseling meeting. So we're hosting our second one on February 3rd here again in the council chambers on a Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. We also invite local bankers, local realtors, so they can be a part of the conversation for affordable housing. We're trying to qualify West Memphians to be able to even get in the market for affordable housing, whether it's a house that we construct or another developer construct. We want to shift the dynamic of having so many renters in West Memphis. A lot of times people don't understand that. When you have high rentership, you have issues with code enforcement. You actually have issues with crime. You have issues with transients coming into the community, not caring and not invested. But we want to shift that dynamic and have more homeowners in West Memphis. So we want West Memphians to benefit first. Because my belief is, not saying I'm prophetic, but Memphians going to really start coming over here when you look at the housing values.
They already have.
Yeah, they are. They're already coming. The first houses that Durbin built, most of them were sold to Memphians. And some of them work at St. Jude. We're not talking about families who want really low-cost housing. We're talking about individuals who are working-class families that want viable housing. So we're in a sweet spot right now. West Memphis is going to be that next spot. We're going to be like South Haven in the next 10 years.
So my question
5
is.
years.
5 years.
Okay, that's okay. Let me ask this question then. Okay, so you talked about private developers, then you said we. When you said we, you're talking about the city possibly building
So,
some on those properties.
Yes.
Am I correct?
yes,
Okay, and so I've kind of been saying and thinking that the whole time, because just throughout the city, there are properties that we have.
correct.
And so when you build these, you're building looking to sell or rent, and which one?
Sale.
Sale.
Correct.
Okay, so that's my point. I mean, I like what you're saying about that area, but we can do this throughout the city because
Correct.
we do have properties throughout all these wards that we can possibly buy the property, build, and sell. So I think we definitely need to start looking at that.
And also, Dr. Bruce, let me add this. We got land throughout the city that we have started a land bank.
Well, that's the property that I'm talking about.
Exactly. So
So-
definitely, we marketing those to developers as well as potentially if the city decides to get into buying them, if you all did that too, not buying the property, but wanted to build.
That's what I'm
Sorry
saying.
there.
To expound on the home ownership coalition, the next step is to actually create a nonprofit that's separate from the city with its own executive director, with some board members, of course, board members who represent the district that we want to start as our redevelopment area, and also hire professionals and get community people to sit on this board to kind of orchestrate and coordinate what happens in the area without the city being too involved in it. And then that positions us to be able to get federal money and partner with this organization so that they can actually take it on themselves and do it with our guidance.
You know, we had a program like this, sort of in the past called Hope 3. I was actually one of the beneficiaries of that program. My first house, I bought it through a Hope 3 program. They bought it, and I think they bought it for $1. It was already an existing home, but they went in and spent about $25,000 on it. And I think when I went and got my loan, actually from the guarantee loan, I think I had a $26,000 loan, but I had a $80,000 house. But they was helping first-time homeowners, in which that's what I was at that time.
Mayor, if I may, further, I'd like to table this until February the 15th. I would like for us to go ahead and contract with a local title company so we can go and keep moving this forward,
Yes,
get all
sir.
the information that Mr. Bowman needs, showing they're all free and clear of any liens. Love to see us develop a public-private partnership agreement where, yes, the city is going to participate, but we're not going to be building the house.
Correct.
But we're going to make sure you have every access available to you to get that done, either through utilities or whatever. I think it's very worthwhile. Just want to dot a few i's, cross a couple of t's, but I want to keep it moving, especially with the title company, so we can go and get
Yeah.
that done. And in the meantime, we can iron out these dates real quick.
If you make a motion to table,
Motion table to February the 15th.
second.
I have a motion and a second to table to February 15th to get all the necessary things done in this contract with a title company, so we can keep the process moving, and then at that point, if we get this approved, then we'll go to the next steps and move on until we can get something, definitely get the people a place where they can stay at, and then get the places demo, and then hopefully get a developer in the bill.
I'm hoping we acquire all 76 properties at some point in time. so
That'd be nice.
Remind the title company, this is a long term, they're going to get the business, so we'll give you the best price.
Councilman Cat, I just want it to happen in our lifetime, that's all.
I got a motion and a second to table this to February the 15th with those restraints that we put into this table. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved, so this is tabled to the 15th, and we know we're gonna get the contract ready with Mr. Harris as well. We're gonna start now currently to get these people a place to live and contract with a closing company.
Correct.
All right.
Thank you.
I have one question before you go. Are y'all prepared to train the new owners on how to keep their property up?
Yes, ma'am. That's the whole point of the West Memphis Housing Coalition. It's home ownership counseling to teach them how to become credit worthy, to be able to be good households, homeowners, and upkeep of their property, make them aware of what are code violations, because as you
Yeah.
can see, you know, we got a big initiative now where we're doing a lot of code enforcement for individuals and residences that have already been homeowners, and we do a lot of that. So we want new homeowners to understand what it means to upkeep your property and how your property can appreciate.
Right,
And then you can pass it on as an asset to your children,
that's true,
you know?
that's true. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We're gonna move on to permission requests. I have no permission requests. How many committees met so far?
Approximate, the mayor reserved the right to report at our next
At the next
meeting.
meeting.
I've got it in my phone, but I don't like reading.
Do any other committees need to set a date to meet for this month? Are everyone familiar with their new but committee that they'll be serving on?
Nobody make up the snow.
So,
Mayor, is it possible that either your office or maybe Ms. Patricia could send us the meeting schedules for, for each, that's nice, for each commission? I know for us it have been changed around on different commissions. I know some of the dates, but some of the times I don't know.
I think the council, you all set the date, but in whatever date you all set, then we can get the whole thing to you.
So, okay, so for instance, I guess what I'm asking, not necessarily the time, but for instance, I'm on police commission,
Okay.
and I don't know what day
Okay.
to even begin with. You understand what I'm saying?
I was going to ask you, and I serve on that commission, we're new to that. There's only one returning member, so I was hoping we could all stay after this meeting, like chairpersons, we can get that moving forward.
Yes, sir.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right, so what the council will do, we know police after this meeting, you all will hang around just a few seconds to do a police commission meeting. And if you are on other meetings, pretty much, I guess after this meeting, set the time and the date for everyone that can meet that time, and then.
Oh, so it may be new, it may not be the same. Okay, that's
Budget will remain the fourth Thursday.
okay.
Budget fourth Thursday? Okay. When was the police meeting?
First Monday.
First Monday?
Monday.
Did you all want to keep,
First Monday at noon.
after this meeting today, did you all want to keep the police commission as first Monday?
Yes. And if there's 4 new members on that commission, there's only 1 returning member, so you can find out what those 4 want to do.
I'm fine. If y'all want to do that, that's fine.
What about, what about fire commission?
Fire Commission traditionally met the third Tuesday.
Third Tuesday.
I'm not sure what the new commission has decided on yet.
Okay, well, after this meeting, you all can just get together with some of the people within your committee, and if I have to get the sheet to show you all which commission you all on, I do that, and you all can go from there. Okay. All right. Y'all have it? All right, I'm gonna go down to appointments. I do have 2 appointments for the A&P department, which was, they was voted in by the A&P, but need to be confirmed by this council. So can I get a motion and second to both approve Mike Patel and Artoria Brisbane to return back to the A&P commission? These are the ones that actually works in the fields, hotel or restaurant.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? They approve. I had just a few things I want to speak on for his presentation with the mayor. I want to let Dr. Bruce and Ms. Muhammad, both of you all, I'm not going to talk about the situation, but you all know what I'm talking about. You all came to me about 2 situations that definitely, that you all brought to my attention, and I want to let you all know that we have definitely pretty much at this point got everything worked out. We have given just a grace period just for the individuals who's at those 2 properties that come into compliance. If they don't, they're going to see records and different things out there, and I don't want them to be like, well, hey, I'm doing something to them, but you know where my orders are coming from, but definitely getting that taken care of. And I want to thank you all because first of all, you all did right. The way those 2 individuals keeping those areas and making them what they're making and within residential communities, it was something that was unacceptable for the city. So definitely we have gotten that taken care of. You too, Mr. Murray, on that area as well. So we moving forward with those. And next week, it should look like you can eat off the floor. So they got to next week to completely get those situations taken care of. I also, I want to meet with both council members of each ward, and basically what I just want to talk about, what is it that you want to try to see done in your ward, if it's something that's bringing cause to pause or you need more attention to this year. Definitely we want to try to make sure that we're getting that done for you all in your wards. The sanitation has done a great job. We know that the last week has been snowed in and have been a little issue with that, but definitely we back on schedule and we moving forward. So in the sanitation problem, I'm not foreseeing anyone, especially once the ice is gone, and we know during the time that the ice was down, it was dangerous, and we had to make sure we look out for the safety of the people, and that's most important to me. But now since we got everything back going, we should be going up and going, as well as talking with the landfill. A lot of people didn't know the landfill was closing at 10 o'clock. We had to dump a lot of the trash on our sanitation lot, which ain't something I want to do, but it's something we had to do to be able to move forward to the next day to get some things up. But we are getting those areas cleaned up as well. So that's the first thing. Second thing is today, I know most of you all probably was at work during this time, but you all missed a great event today. Today, and Ms. Muhammad did call me, let me know that she was unable to attend, but Southland Casino blessed the city of West Memphis with $1.7 million to build a new Nest and Curlin Seacrest Animal Control Center, Shelter, and Adoption Center, which is going to be beautiful on that location. It's much needed for our city, and just thankful that the private-public partnership of working with Southland and seeing that come to fruition, while our city will be able to take care of our pets, get some of the health care that our pets may need, or get our pets within homes that they need to be in, or just keep them safe out the cold. I think my animal director is doing a great job with Ms. Carrie Fusello and her whole staff. They does an incredible job in helping doing down there. They board their staff as well. So I just want to thank all of them. And I got an event I got to be at this evening at 6 o'clock as well. And I'll be once again re-honoring Carolyn and that Seacrest for that effort that they are doing within our community. But this is going to be an amazing facility. Lad Gary was part of the design of it. And I'm sure you all have seen that, as well as the Kennel Association contribute money to this project as well. 2 of the other buildings that we'll be renovating to make sure that everything go well. I seen Councilman Cat trying to steal my shine, but I'm just messing with him right now. Maybe it's just, well, I mean, it was all good to be in. We had a large crowd out there. A lot of people came out and supported that. And that just goes to show you that, like I said, we on the winning street. When I said winning street, now I'm talking about us. I'm talking about all the people of West Memphis who are making things happen, contributing to our city, to make our city better. So I just want to thank Southland, the Jacobs family, Delaware North, the whole Southland Casino for everything that they are continuing to do for our city to make our city be vibrant. Also, next Tuesday at 10:30 a.m., we'll be doing our new grand opening for our West Memphis Park and Recreation Building, the old library. So please, if you all can be there next Tuesday at 10:30, West Memphis Park and Recreation Building, we'll be doing our official grand opening for the new park and recreation building.
Man, I got one thing.
Yes, ma'am.
And I can't remember, but I think it was, at one time we were working, or we were supposed to put sidewalks from, I guess, 25th and Polk
Yeah, I can
back
answer that.
up to, I'm not sure how far.
That's part of our walkable West Memphis plan. They be going through MPO. We had moved to the next step, and once the state MPO approves it, then we'll start to get funding. Where we start working on. Well, actually, what they're going to do, they're going to build a sidewalk and redo the street from one to Junior High, which is 25th Street, down to 20th Street. And we
Okay.
have sidewalks on both sides, street we did, as well as on the West Junior High side as well. So that started doing some over there as well. So it'll be both of those streets, pretty much connecting those schools and make sure them schools got safe place for the kids can walk through. And we just went on, that's MPO money, you know, and definitely it's coming through. But we just waiting on everything to come through MPO. Anyone else?
Can I bring up the fact that we have a flood advisory for tomorrow? National Weather Service just posted a flood advisory for tomorrow, and Crittenden County is included. And it's from noon tomorrow till 6 a.m. Thursday.
Was there any other announcements? I can't think of anything else.
Well, Mayor, I would like for our city attorney to go back and look at this ordinance about domestic animals, because this was in the paper last Wednesday,
What's the number?
1867. It was signed off by
19.
Billy Johnson in 1999.
1999.
It's caused some excitement, I think, at least in Ward 3.
Yeah, you good? Harris? Dr. Bruce? Council Cat? Mama Hunt? Let me ask you this. What day is good I can start to meet with the two councilmen from each ward? I just need an hour of your time. I can do it in the evening or however.
I'll have to I'll talk to my
You tell him, Bill.
counterpart first.
Uh,
I'll talk with my counterpart and see what he says.
okay. Councilwoman Hutchinson?
I'm,
Whenever you can.
okay. We'll let you know. How soon do you want us to let you know, ma'am?
I know you all trying to get y'all committees together, but I just want y'all to think about it whenever, and we'll just get a time good. I mean, if you're doing lunch for both of you all,
I mean, you want to try as early as next week is what I was asking.
I could. I'll make sure we'll get something to eat during lunch.
My time,
Councilman.
whatever Ms. Helen say.
Well, I know I can't do it this week because I'm booked up.
Okay.
Next
My
week
daughter's
will be
having
okay.
surgery this
Yeah,
weekend,
that's
so
what I'm
it
saying,
may
next week.
have to be at least 2 weeks from now.
You just want the two councils?
Yeah, and basically what I just want to see, you know, going forward is anything that possibly the city could do within our rules to make your community better. I know we did a lot with that 25th area, but if it's something else we possibly can look at, and just get a vision for where we going in your community.
Give it $7, you'll be all right.
I got one more thing I need to add. We have citizen requests, Miss Erin Miss Erin Nave with Project Nero. You please come forward. Miss Nave, will you get your name and your address, and we normally get 5 minutes. You address the council about anything you want.
I know some of those people.
My name is Erin Nave, and I'm here to let y'all know about Project Neuro. I'm a doctorate of occupational therapy. This is Reverend Carissa Tarkington. She's our spiritual advisor. And this is Karis Brizendine. She's a special ed director in Lee County. With your permission, can Carissa Tarkington just tell y'all a little bit about Project Neuro?
Project Neuro is a nonprofit we helped create about 1.5 years ago, and it's to help neurodivergent youth and young adults with life skills, with job skills, and also to help to, give them a supportive community. And you may not know what a neurodiverse individual is, and it's just a person who experiences and interacts with the world in a different way than would be typical. It's usually people on the autistic spectrum who have ADHD, ADD, some mental disorders such as being bipolar, depression, or those caused by trauma, and then learning disorders like dyslexia. And so most of them are average or even above average intelligence, and the problem is there's not a lot of resources for them. They either kind of get grouped together with those who are intellectually delayed, or they get just kind of brushed aside just because it's kind of while they've always been around, we're kind of now just starting to notice that people do think differently. And so we've noticed in West Memphis there were quite a few from our own children that we work with every day and the ones we see in the educational system. And so we've created this nonprofit to help address that. And it's good to do that for West Memphis and for our children, for Crittenden County, because this is really an untapped resource for our community. Neurodiverse individuals, like I said, most of these kids are extremely intelligent, they're innovative, they think differently, they have such a strong sense of right and wrong, and they want to be useful, they want to serve. But unfortunately, there are barriers. Many neurodiverse people are lonely. They have a high level of suicide, unfortunately. They have lower life expectancy just because, and a lot of people think it's because they lack community and they lack what it means to feel useful. We know they're useful. They lack what it means to feel useful. And so what are we doing about it as Project Neuro? Well, we've created this program. We meet 3 times a month during the school year, and then we also have outings, we have trips, so we can practice what we're learning. We help them with executive functioning, which is just basic everyday skills, just following direction, being able to do like life skills that you might find easy, like laundry, remembering to brush your teeth, remembering to turn off the stove. Some of these kids can do advanced calculus, but they can't hold a conversation. So we're helping them just to learn normal social cues, not asking them to mask who they are because we want them to keep their individuality, but to help them understand social cues, to understand how to hold a conversation, and really to put them in the community where they can feel supported. So we meet 3 times a month during the school year. We're actually, First Time Methodist Church is letting us use their building. We are our own nonprofit, but they do partner with us. And what we need, we just want people to know about us since we're so new. We have about 25 to 30 kids in the youth in the program. We're 100% volunteer. We've already had some great success. We have a young man who is gainfully employed now. He's 24 years old. He's got an associate degree, and he's doing really well. We have one, I can tell you, that came in the first day cussing us out, not wanting to be there, and now he runs in excited, is engaging with his peers, and is a totally different youth than what he was when he came in. We have one who is learning to use her artistic ability to serve, to help raise money, not just for this, but for other nonprofits in the area. So like I said, we want people to know about us. We would love to have business and organizations and the city even to partner with us and provide internships and jobs and opportunities for these youth to learn in the summer, and our young adults to be able to learn how to work, and also so businesses can understand maybe some modifications they need to meet to meet neurodivergent needs. We need volunteers to mentor these youth and young adults, or even just come one night and present a skill or a program that would be useful for them. And then, of course, we are 100% volunteer. We are a nonprofit, and we always need financial assistance. We have our first big fundraiser coming up in May, where it's on the May 4th, I believe. It's a Kentucky Derby kind of watch party. We've have an agreement to use the Civic Center, and so we're hoping to bring in a lot of people for that, not just in the area, but maybe from other towns as well, make it a big event. So we're looking forward to that. Is there anything you want to add?
And some of our experts that are all volunteers is we have a mental health provider, behavioral therapist, occupational therapist, speech therapist, CPAs. Every volunteer has been doing this. This is our second season, and they are all doing it, giving up their time every Wednesday to do this, and trips. And last spring break, we took all of them to New Orleans, and we unfortunately have several in our group that do not have the funding. So we eat the cost of every trip, every meal, and we have 25 to 30 active, and about 25% of that group is financially able to commit anything, any kind of funding to help.
You, Council, did you all have any questions for them?
I have a question. What's your maximum age?
26.
26, okay.
Question, you said, heard Lee County? Okay, so is that where you originate, or is that?
No, I live in West Memphis, 409 Clement,
Okay.
but I work in Lee County. I used to work for West Memphis for a long time, and then the state kind of sought me out because I was a special ed teacher at Falk Elementary. So I went into Lee County, and now I'm the special ed director there.
So how much, how visually are you guys at Crittenden County?
All of our
All of
participants come from Crittenden County, from Marion or West
We
Memphis.
just
The
pulled,
majority is West Memphis.
and we just pulled one from Christian Brothers University because they heard about us. So we have occasionally a private school in Memphis come our direction, but that one exception, all of them are in West Memphis or Marion addresses.
So where are you located?
215 North Missouri
Yeah,
Street.
we actually use the building at First United Methodist here in town.
Okay.
And what's your minimum age?
14.
14?
Oh, it's a little younger.
We go a little.
It's like 7th grade.
7th grade.
Okay,
yes.
all right, okay,
But we will consider a 6th grader.
okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before I close, I just want to say, it's just 4 people that I want to thank real quick. During this snow time, we had some people that got out and was amazing heroes for our city during this ice time, and they can tell you many stories that they went through. And at this time, I'd like to thank our Assistant Chief, James Presley. Thank you. I see him here for what he done. Our Community Development Department was led by Mr. Bowman and his whole staff. Ms. Felix, thank you all for what you all done. Our Community Outreach as well, Ms. Bowe. Also, I want to thank Mr. Odell Slaughter and the Street Department. They did a wonderful job in helping during this time. And last but not least, this young man always stepped his game up and helped the city, and that's Pastor Josh Hall at First Baptist. He opened his doors for a shelter, for a warming center, so anyone that was cold had the opportunity to go there and get the assistance that they need. So I just want to thank all of those individuals for helping us out during this 3 or 4 days of cold that we definitely had.
And I would also like to thank Faith International under Facebook Friends, how they opened their gym and allowed some kids to come in and play, and for the wonderful job they were doing renovating. And I just wanted to make mention of him. I see he's sitting there, and I'd be remiss not to say what a wonderful job they did during this COVID.
Pastor King, you got a jumper? Pure. All right, I'm gonna catch you, and thank you for what you're doing for our youth, and I do see some of that going on as well. So definitely, I want to thank Faith International for you all's part in our city helping develop as well. Anyone have anything else to add? Hearing none, can I get a motion to adjourn? Ms.
I
Muhammad?
know just one other thing. I'm asking you all to be praying for my daughter, Candace. She's having surgery Friday morning, and pray that everything will go well.
She definitely will be in our prayer.
Poor thing, she's been through so much, but God is with her.
All right. I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And a second. All in favor, aye? Opposed? All right, go on.